Is Florida Congressman Byron Donalds. And Congressman, it's great to have you. Thanks very much. I know you voted in the House no for that plan. Give us your sense of what's in the plan that Americans need to be aware of.
Well, the first thing is that the Democrats always like to accuse Republicans of giving out tax cuts for the rich. But what the Democrats have done is they have given the largest tax cut for, frankly, millionaires and billionaires in blue states in American history. That's one of the centerpieces of this bill. The other thing that it does is that it massively expands social welfare spending in America at a time when small business owners are struggling to get people to go to work. So you're going to give direct cash incentives to people while small business owners are having to give out $500, $1,000, $1,500 bonuses just to have them come and work at 7-Elevens or McDonald's. Like, this is the economic tragedy that Joe Biden is unleashing upon the American people. That's just the beginning. There's so much more in this bill that's awful for our country.
But why, Congressman? Why is he releasing this onto the American people, knowing that we are already choking on high inflation? Too many dollars chasing too few goods. That's what we're seeing. Why send more dollars into the economy? Won't inflation get stoked even more?
It will be stoked even more. He's more concerned with being the new FDR, the new LBJ, as opposed to being concerned about what working families in our country need, what middle-class families in our country are looking for, what small business owners in our country need to thrive and survive. We don't need more government spending. We don't need more government programs. There are more taxes, more fees in this bill, except that go to the rich. I mean, we're doing things on electric vehicles we've never seen. But, Maria, all the electric vehicle money they're going to spend in this bill is going to go to the Chinese, because the Chinese are the ones who mine for lithium, they mine for rare earth, they make the batteries that go into these cars. So which country is he trying to help? Is it America or is it China?
Well, I think this is a great point that you raised, because Joe Biden continues to tiptoe around Xi Jinping. He had a phone call with him this week, and astoundingly, the issue of the origins of COVID-19 never came up.
Well, listen, first of all, he's scared of Xi Jinping. It's sad to see in an American president, but he's more concerned about what the Chinese leader of the Communist Party over there thinks than small business owners in our country. I've read the classified reports on COVID origins. The one thing that's pretty clear to me is that the Chinese refuse to cooperate with any further investigations, which only leads you to the logical conclusion that this was leaked out of a lab. But it's bigger than that. The Chinese are trying to be the dominant military and economic power on the globe, and the current president of the United States does not appear to want to actually fight for America and maintain our superiority on the world stage.
Well, it's extraordinary, because the CCP has made no secret of the fact that it wants to overtake the United States as the number one superpower. And yet we don't hold the CCP to account at all, whether it be for the intellectual property theft, invading other countries, bullying its neighbors in the South China Sea. And we're supposed to make believe that we're all celebrating for the Beijing Olympics. Here's what happened on that score this week. Listen to this.
Do you support a diplomatic boycott of the Beijing Olympics?
Something we're considering.
A diplomatic boycott of the Olympics. So what? After meeting with China's President Xi Jinping earlier this week, Biden now says he's considering a diplomatic boycott. I mean, Congressman, what does that mean? I mean, what does that do?
It does nothing. I'll believe it when I see it. The number one thing we should be doing right now is making sure that we're manufacturing in the United States, that we are being the leader with respect to energy production in the United States. We should be unleashing our businesses and our corporations, not taxing them, not putting burdens on them, not making it harder for employees to get back into the workforce. We're doing everything wrong. And by the way, not also putting in the Green New Deal, which is only going to increase China's influence on the world with respect to energy and with respect to economics. He's doing all the wrong things. Yeah. So who cares if you don't show up in Beijing?
Why is it that no matter how many times voters reject these policy, from China to spending to the Green New Deal, Nancy Pelosi and company keep pushing it through and ignoring what the voters are saying? They almost lost New Jersey, and yet that was not a wake-up call.
Listen, they almost lost New Jersey. They're going to lose a whole bunch of rank-and-file Democrats in the midterm election. But the reality is Nancy Pelosi is always concerned about the agenda. She's willing to sacrifice members in her party to election defeat as long as it accomplishes the agenda. If you go back to 2009, when Scott Brown won in Massachusetts and Chris Christie became governor of New Jersey, did they stop with Obamacare? No. Nancy Pelosi pushed it through at full speed. She's always concerned about increasing the Democrat agenda in our country, which is unfortunately a socialist Marxist agenda in our country. And they do not care about the polls. They do not care about the elections. They want to accomplish their design first, second, and third, no matter what the American people think about it.
Yeah, it's very dangerous times to think that Marxism is running things right now. Congressman, we'll be watching the developments and certainly your leadership. Thank you, sir. Congressman Byron Donalds joining us.